We're rotting out. I'm Walter.
I'm Ben.
Carlos.
George.
Eddie. And yeah, that's us. We're from Los Angeles, California, US of A.
Ik ben Nico, ik kom van Esjes.
Ik ben Stan. Ik speel niks. Ik ben de zanger van Esjes.
Ik ben de Vier, ik speel gitaar bij Esjes. Ik ben een Bayer, ik speel bas.
Yeah, we are hieroglyphs. We are from Germany and we play together since I think late 2011.
Mijn naam is Stef van Open Up Records, Grim, Catwise en Trap Inside.
Ja, mijn naam is Laura Gilles, ik ben 19 jaar, ik doe vocals bij Trap Inside en ik zet shows op voor Open Up Records.
We're Expire. We're from like the Midwest United States. I'm Zach, I play guitar.
Josh. Marcus, I play drums.
Caleb, I play bass.
Hoi, ik ben Pieter, ik ben 19 jaar, ik speel drums, ik ga ondertussen al een jaar of 6, 7 naar shows en hardcore is het coolste ooit.
I'm Nick.
I'm Jordan, we play guitar too up with
Ik ben Jannik, ik kom uit Ginnendijk.
Ik ben Bo en ik kom uit Maasmechelen.
Yeah, we all met in high school.
Yeah, we're like, us three went to the same high school. We met George through other friends, and Eddie we met going to shows. So like, you know, just kind of just growing up in it and like listening to records and all that stuff. We were more involved with like new metal and like bands like Korn and like, you know, even more punk bands like Suicidal Tendencies. But then like we could kind of relate to the hardcore crowd because it has kind of a lot of aspects of different types of music. Like it's heavy, it's fast, it's, you know, more punk influence. You know, it's got all kind of ties in, so it's pretty easy to get into. When we started playing, we just kind of wrote a demo just because we wanted to write a demo and play shows. You know, we didn't really think past that. And then surprisingly, like a lot of our friends had a lot of support for us, so that kind of just made the shows look a little bit crazier, you know, because it's all our friends kind of just going off and doing their thing. So I guess now we're like more established with 2 LPs, our second one on the way. So we just never thought about even making it past like 1 LP. Let alone.
I didn't think we'd get this far.
Yeah, we never thought we would get this far.
Ik vind gewoon als jonge gast zo zware muziek moet altijd zwaar zijn en metal is ook wel zwaar en je hebt zware rock ook wel, maar in hardcore hebben ze dat, ja, je kunt een metal show niet vergelijken met een hardcore show en dat is een vibe dat je niet kunt uitleggen en dat is hetgeen waarom dat je ergens wel naar metal zit gegaan, ergens ook wel naar gewoon naar punk en zo, maar je zit blijven hangen bij de hardcore omdat dat gevoel niet per se de muziek beter is, maar gewoon de sfeer en de mensen en de bands en de attitude en de gedachte erachter is gewoon veel tof.
I don't know, I got into like ska punk and like, I know, like NoFX, Rancid and all that before I got into hardcore, and then just gradually go to shows and some mixed bill shows. So I got like punk bands playing hardcore bands, and then to be honest, I enjoyed like the energy of a hardcore show, kids moshing and all that. I just got interested in that, and then from there, just got into hardcore.
Same, I was like just going to shows of friends of mine, like metal shows and punk shows, and I just ended up going to a show because my mate's brother's band were playing with Terror and a band from Birmingham called Your Life Is a Grave, and I remember just seeing it and thinking this is like insane. So after that I was just like got straight into it, started playing in some hardcore bands and stuff like that.
Er werd in mijn dorpje een soort festival georganiseerd toen ik een jaar of 12, 13 was. Ik ben daar naartoe gegaan, er speelden bands als The Setup, No Turning Back. Ik ben die gaan kijken en ik kreeg een beetje schrik. Ik vond dat mega cool. Ook toen ik die zangers hoorde praten over en alles, sprak me wel aan. En toen ik naar huis reed had ik echt zo'n gevoel van ja, dat wil ik ook doen. En ik ben naar shows blijven gaan. Ik heb veel vrienden gemaakt daar, ik ben zelf een band begonnen een paar jaar later en ja, nu zijn we 7 jaar verder en ja, nu zit ik hier.
For me, it was growing up in like a super small town and not really having much else to do, and just slowly getting into music, and there weren't really like shows and bands didn't really come through at all. So in order to like see bands that I wanted to see, I had to book them. So just starting booking shows when I was really young, like 14, 15 years old, and from there it just kind of snowballed into hanging out in a room in Belgium.
Hardcore has that other things other places don't have. Is hardcore is very personal and very hands-on, and a lot of music doesn't really have that. As far as you can go to like an indie show or whatever, and just people are just standing around looking at each other and just just watching the band. But like when you go to a hardcore show, people are moving around, people are singing along, people are jumping off the stage. There's nothing like it. Like you don't see it in many places. Like you see it, I mean, in a few other like aggressive music, like you see it in like metal kind of, but it's not to the extent. It's not as, I don't know, it's not as alive.
I guess the best thing is that if you're a pretty small band and nobody knows you, it's possible to come around, to play shows in different countries, meet lots of other bands and people, and come together with other persons that share the same interests that you from you. And I think hardcore makes this more easy than any other hobby.
Ja, het coole aan hardcore vind ik gewoon het hangen met mijn vrienden. De shows. Ja, het is ook een manier om alles een beetje van me af te zetten. Het is niet dat ik zware problemen heb of zo, maar het is gewoon cool om dagelijkse frustraties uit te leven op een positieve manier. Ja, gewoon, ik heb veel vrienden gemaakt. Ik ga niet zeggen dat al mijn vrienden iets met hardcore te maken hebben, maar het grootste deel wel. En ja, dat is cool.
Wat het leukste is de vriendschap in hardcore. Iedereen kent elkaar. Het ziet er allemaal wel heel vijandig uit en zo, langs buiten meestal. Maar als je daarin zit, ja, iedereen is vriendelijk voor elkaar. Dat lijkt ook allemaal zo gewelddadig en zo. Maar eigenlijk is er helemaal niet stel je valt of zo op de show of als je van een podium afspringt gewoon direct opgegaan. Ja, eigenlijk is het veel vriendschappelijker dan de meeste mensen denken en al helemaal niet zo underground of gewelddadig als de buitenwereld erover denkt.
Ik vind het ook gewoon speciaal omdat er zo'n gevoel in zit. En dat heb je niet echt bij muziek die je op de radio hoort of zo. Of op Q-music of zo. Ja, dat is allemaal gewoon hetzelfde deuntje de hele tijd. En in hardcore heb je echt teksten die ze zelf gemaakt hebben, niet door een of andere songwriter. En gewoon omdat, ja, dat schreeuwen, zoals het dan nu ook wordt, dat is meer overtuigender dan is het gewoon meer gevoel.
I just enjoy the energy of it. Like when you play it, like I've been to loads of different types of shows, whether it be a hardcore show or like a hip hop show, and anything hardcore always seems to have the best like atmosphere, energy. I don't know, it just seems real good. And it's good to play in a band, like a hardcore band, and be part of it and stuff like that. It's cool.
Hardcore's like a community as well. Like, say we come today, like we're from South Wales, we come all the way to Belgium, and there's just like kids we know from other bands.
Yeah.
And it's like we've got friends in like every part of the world, which is like, I don't think I wouldn't even go to half these places if we weren't in the band. So
yeah.
Like hardcore is
just
like,
from playing in a band, you get to meet so many cool people, and it's like, yeah, it's real good.
Everyone looks after you. It's cool.
This next song is off our record called Street Cloud. I wrote it a while back because I hated everybody and anybody that told me what to do, whether it was my teachers or my parents or the cops or a Bible or some book that doesn't know me and tells me who I should love and who I should care about and what's right and what's wrong. Don't let anybody tell you what to do ever. Don't let anybody tell you what's right or what's wrong. You figure that out. You figure out who you are on your own. People could tell you what you're doing is dumb or immature. If so be it, then hold on to it and run with it. Be as immature as you can for as long as you can, because the last thing you want to do is grow up and hate your life and hate the job you're at. This is a fast one.
I think hardcore has an energy you can't really find at other shows. People aren't afraid to like really let go, and it, you know, like it's very violent, but it's kind of like a positive atmosphere where it's more like roughhousing, like just being rough with each other instead of like being vicious. So that kind of energy always kept the intensity in the room like at a certain level every time. I go to a hardcore show and kids are jumping off speakers, kids are jumping off each other, kids are punching each other in the face, kids are diving, kids are singing along. You know, I go to a punk show, you know, half the crowd is already drunk, which is fine with me, but like, you know, like there's more of a style to hardcore than there is any other scene I've been involved in.
Ja, wat mij het meest beïnvloed heeft, ik heb binnen hardcore straight edge leren kennen, wat inhoudt dat ik niet drink, niet rook, geen drugs gebruik. Ook heb ik vegetarisme leren kennen en ik heb die twee dingen eigenlijk vrij snel opgepikt nadat ik into hardcore gekomen ben. En ja, tot op de dag van vandaag bepaalde die nog altijd een groot stuk van mijn leven. En verder ook, ja, sinds ik hardcore luister heb ik denk ik al meer van België of Europa gezien als al die jaren ervoor. Je gaat mee met bands, je gaat naar shows in het buitenland. Je blik wordt echt veel ruimer als dat je gewoon een mainstream muziek zou luisteren, denk ik.
Ja, bij mij is dat ongeveer hetzelfde. Ik ben niet straight edge, ik ben wel vegetarisch. Ook door Jannik, omdat ik bekogeld werd door alle documentaires. En eerst was dat niet zo heel fel, maar nu begin ik daar wel steeds meer in te zien. En je hebt ook zo'n heel ander mensbeeld eigenlijk, doordat je vegetarisch bent. Je begint meer te denken van, ja, wat doet je de wereld toch allemaal aan? En ja, je wordt eigenlijk toch een heel klein beetje, zit er dan zo'n activist in u.
Vrienden leren sowieso wel veel van elkaar, buiten Worker ook. Maar bij Worker heb je zo nog net dat iets meer volgens mij, omdat, vooral dan met de muziek zelf, omdat er natuurlijk echt boodschappen altijd in zitten. Je leert gewoon nadenken voordat je iets doet. En ik heb net zoals Stef mijn eigen ook veel beter leren kennen.
What I learned from hardcore is like really that I'm not the only one thinking that drinking alcohol is not the thing you need to do. Before I came into hardcore, I wasn't drinking. My friends were all drinking. I didn't know what's wrong with me. Then I came to hardcore. I saw the whole straight edge thing, and I thought, yeah, that's it. That's what I think. That's what I really think. And that was really amazing. And thankful for that.
I got into hardcore and then I found straight edge and still straight edge now. Like 10 years later, I probably will still be straight edge in 10 years time. I guess I wouldn't have found out, if that makes sense, found out about it if it wasn't for hardcore. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, because I'd ask my dad, do you know what straight edge is? And he would not have a clue. Like, people who are not really into hardcore, I don't think ever know what straight edge or anything like that is.
I don't know, but like, I know loads of people who've got nothing to do with hardcore, but it's just called, who like don't drink and don't smoke. They don't call themselves straight edge.
Yeah.
It's just like a title that in the hardcore scene is given to people.
Het maakt niet uit wat dat je draagt of wat dat je van muziek luistert, iedereen is gewend. En het respect dat je zo terugkrijgt toen we zo de show gaan spelen in Zwitserland, niemand had nog nooit van ons gehoord. En al die mensen gaan zot op onze show.
The best way I could describe life as a touring musician is it's not quite as glamorous as people seem to think it is. It's a lot of sleeping on floors, a lot of spending, 8, 10, 12 hours in a van at the same time, but given all that, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I've met, my best friends through touring. I've gotten to see parts of the world I never thought I'd ever get to see. We all of us just came from Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, and now, we just finished the UK and now we're back in Europe, and it's, we couldn't be more excited to be here. So it has its ups and downs. Being away from home for long periods of time isn't easy. We don't get to sleep in our own beds. We don't see our families, girlfriends, friends that are back home, stuff like that. But I think I speak for everybody when I say that none of us would trade this for anything. We like what we did.
On the motorway, hours and hours and hours. Like,
yeah, a lot of driving.
You drive like 8-10 hours to play for half an hour. Like it's worth it, but it's like it's not all fun times to me.
Just sit, yeah.
Like our van's got the worst seats as well. It's just like we're up quite like that, and it's just horrible. But yeah, it's worth it in the end. But you just spend so much time on motorways, and like you don't get to see many of the cities. Like we turned up today, we didn't have time to walk around. We just come straight to the show. So like, I couldn't tell you if this is a nice part of Belgium or not. But
yeah,
the show was good.
It seemed like we were just driving through fields for hours before we got here. So, but we got here in the end.
Very stressful, very stressful, because at any moment the worst thing could happen. You could lose, especially being in another country, we could lose our money bag, our passports, we can lose our clothes, we can get robbed, somebody could break into our van while we're playing the show and take our stuff.
Lose a loved one while you're on tour.
Yeah, you can, you could be across the world, and then, you get an email like a day later saying, hey, somebody passed away, and you're stressed out, you don't know what to do, So there's a lot of stress and a lot of sacrifice that, we're willing to make. We leave family behind, girlfriends behind, loved ones, dogs, all these things that can easily be taken from us without us even knowing being over here, So being in another country is very stressful, but it's kind of like the sacrifice we make to come and like experience and enjoy like other cultures and other scenes, around the world.
If I had to describe hardcore and like what it means to me, to like an outsider, it's definitely something that like when I was younger, I had no idea what I was doing. I still have no idea what I'm doing, but it was very easy for me to get a foothold in hardcore and like find a place that I don't really care if it sounds cliche or like I'm reading out of a book, but it's like it was very easy for me to find somewhere that was accepting and a place for me to like let out everything that I couldn't let out at home, or I couldn't let out at school, or I couldn't let out to my parents or my friends or anything like that. Like it's an entire different atmosphere and feeling than anything I had felt up to that point, and I have still found nothing that even comes close. Like it's a different world, and it's like, I like to think for the better. There's obviously, bad things that come with anything, but it's just an entire different view and different outlook on life compared to, other people who don't understand it or who don't want to take the time to, look into it and like see what things are about.
Going to hardcore shows, being in hardcore is just a way of life. When you get into you need to feel it, or
I think most people don't understand what we are doing because we're driving like 5 hours just to play in front of a few people, and other people ask us why we are doing this, but it's just amazing.
ik probeer dat altijd wel, hè. Zo tegen vrienden of collega's te zeggen van, als jij gaan doen terug in een busje gestapt en we zijn er iets gaan spelen. Of je dient dat dan niks zeggen als gewoon een show spelen. En ik kan er niet aan mee. Ik kan er niet aan mee. Misschien voetbalhooliganisme. Dat is ook zo unity en dat zijn ook allemaal kameraden onderheen, maar dat is dan tegen iemand. Dat is eigenlijk hardcore hetzelfde, maar dat is niet tegen iemand. Misschien tegen zo wat fucked up maatschappij zonder en de hele wereld er rond, maar ja, nee, ik kan er geen vergelijking maken.
Er zit een boomkop, ja.
Boomkop.
Als ik hardcore zou moeten uitleggen aan iemand die het niet kent, zou ik het voorbeeld gebruiken van een tamme kastanje. En zeg het uit.
Een tamme kastanje, dat is heel hard van buiten, maar van binnen is dat heel zacht, lekker, liefdevol. Dus ja, dat ziet er heel hard uit voor de buitenwereld, maar van binnen is het eigenlijk gewoon, ja, je wordt daar goed in opgevangen. Je voelt je daar heel goed bij. Dat is
A good way to explain it to somebody who's never been involved would be, I'd have to compare it to skateboarding, and I do it all the time. You don't really understand it. You could see the style it has and like, what it takes and like falling consistently, but always, getting back up and try to like master a trick or a move or something like that. It's kind of the same way with hardcore. It's very aggressive, very fast, and you will get hurt. But it's more of the persistence and like, how do I say, kind of like the emotional drive that it gives you for me, to become a better person, to just kind of like, or to just let go. You're at home, you don't want to deal with the shit you do at school or the shit you have at work. You get on your skateboard, you go out and you just let it, you let it go. You fall, whatever, you brush it off. It's kind of like that with the show. You come to a show, you can relate to these words, you let loose, you understand. Instead of going out to a bar and fighting somebody, you go to a show and, you kind of like exchange blows with your friends, you jump on your friends, they jump on you, you're singing along, it's fun, and at the end of the night, you feel a little less relieved, you feel like it's all out of you, you can't wait till next time. It's almost like therapy, it's
a positive outlet.
Yeah, it's an aggressive, positive outlet. That's the best way I can describe it.